Hello everyone, and welcome to round 2 of a Modern League with Jeskai Quellergeist. This is the first day that Jace the Mind Sculptor and Bloodbraid Elf are unbanned in Modern on MTGO. We'll go ahead and get started with our next match. We currently lost the first round to a Sultai deck, which was just gaining value off of Jace and Liliana of the Veil. This hand seems fine. We'd like to have a threat, one of our 3-mana threats in it. However, I think it's too good to put back. We'll go ahead and lead on Colonnade, saving Serum Visions until we know what we're playing against. Jace was incredibly powerful. That's literally the first game I've ever played against Jace. I haven't ever played any Legacy or Vintage or anything like that. Just accrued a ton of value throughout the game. This looks like it's going to be Affinity. Our hand in particular isn't great against Affinity. However, our deck is. Looks like a slow start from Affinity. Likely going to play a 3-mana spell next turn, so we'll go ahead and shock in the Steam Vents and pass. Although, that was a mistake because Logic Knot can't counter anything anyway, so rip us. So you can leave a comment about that mistake if you'd like. However, I am aware that it was indeed a mistake. At least we're not getting punished by not a Master of Ethereum, the thing that has protection from all colors, the name of which is escaping me at the moment. Takes all around. Let's go ahead and start with Serum Visions. We may end up shocking this in. Gonna bottom these lands because we have plenty of lands as it is. I don't really want to take, what is this, for 4 damage and 2 damage next turn. However, unfortunately, if they resolve the thing with protection from all colors, we will lose this game on the spot with our main deck. We have answers for it in the sideboard, but not in the main. I'm going to look up the name of that card because it's going to drive me absolutely insane. Arcbound Ravager, we can't actually Logic Knot this, so it resolves. Maybe playing around Logic Knot. Tapping this, I'm assuming. Tapping that, since we have an answer for it, we'll go ahead and use. The name of the card I was thinking of is Etched Champion. I apologize for that, guys. Taking 2 here. More lands, huh? Could run out the plains. I don't think it really matters what land we play. Field of Ruin can at least get into our graveyard by taking out an Ink Moth or something. We'll go ahead and play Field of Ruin. Game is not shaping out great for us. Welding Jar really kind of sucks. Nothing for us to do about it, though. Another Steel Overseer. I think we are going to attempt another Spell Snare. May I have a spell snare? The only thing this is keeping back is the Arcbound, which it's not really even keeping back. Or perhaps it is. We're taking 4 here. Non-land. Far from our best spell in our deck. We could attack. We're not going to, though. Just gonna sit back, holding up Logic Knot and Field of Ruin. Memnite. We're not Logic Knotting a Memnite, I don't suppose. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we could very easily just die to this Arcbound Ravager. But I don't think we have any way to play around that. I also think it's very risky for our opponent to go in full in on the Arcbound Ravager. I really do have the Welding Jar. It's still probably a little too risky for them, though. In response to the activation of the Blink Moth, we'll let it resolve. What did he sack? Memnite, huh? Looks like he's going all in on it. Targeting there. That would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No idea why he's going for 9 damage this turn. I don't know if he miscounted. 2, 8. I miscounted. Beginning of combat's fine. We're gonna kill this. We are gonna get an island because it's the only one left. Take 1,000,000 damage. So what do we need to draw? We need to draw engineered explosives. Consider us at 3. Vendilion Click. Vendilion Click ourselves. Seems like a decent plan. Snapcaster isn't holding anybody back. We go ahead and attack with it. Then we Vendilion Click ourselves, tapping a Ganjo Castle. Oh, it has to be a non-land. We'll get rid of the Mana Leak. Lightning Helix is pretty good. Can Lightning Helix a Signal Pest? And chump the Vault Scourge, I suppose. Not going to worry about Ink Moth Nexus. Beginning of combat's fine. We'll Helix this. Now, between trading with this Vault Scourge or chumping this one, I'm going to trade, I think. Because we have Colonnade to block that next turn. Our opponent does have one spell in hand. They didn't use... Ah, shit. A non-land would have been appreciated. Our opponent's at 32. Pass. We're not worried about our clock against Affinity, really. We're going to animate the Inkmoth Nexus. We have to animate Colonnade. And block the Vault Scourge. He has the Loading Jar for that. Animating but not attacking indicates... I want to say it's something about Metalcraft, but he would have had Metalcraft anyway. Another Signal Pest. We need to find a path to exile. Jared Mesa does not do it. On to game 2. Is it Static Caster's great? Wear Tear's fine. Ghost Quarter's actually fine in this matchup, as well as Pithing Needle. Supreme Verdict is great. I don't mind Meddling Mage because it can name Etch Champion. Ruined Halo is great against Etch Champion. Timely Reinforcements is a consideration. Valorous Stance isn't great normally. It would have been fine in that last matchup, but in general it isn't awesome. Excuse me, guys. Hello? I think we may just want to get rid of Serum Visions because the rest of our cards are actually pretty good in this matchup. Counterspells are an option. It's down to 55. Vendilion Click isn't great. It's an answer to Etch Champion, though. Can get rid of a Logic Knot. Name Etch Champion or Cranial Plating with that. I think we'll go for this. We could board out a island for this Ghost Quarter. We'll do that, and we'll bring back in Vendilion Click. We'll submit the deck like that. Timely Reinforcements, I'm not a huge fan of against Affinity, just because I don't want to take my turn 3 off. We will play first. This hand is just way better than our previous one. We're going to play Hallowed Fountain, tapped. Follow it up with Sulfur Falls and have Lightning Helix up. The next turn we have Geist. Did you keep a no-lander? Spring Leaf. Another Springleaf. There's our answer to Etch Champion as soon as we find another white source. So we're pretty happy with that. I think this game's looking very good for us with all the removal we have. We have a clock. I'm more than happy to take one from Memnite. I feel like our opponent's now counting up their mana to make sure they can attack with Memnite. Fine. I'll take one. Would you like to play something? Etch Champion? Gear per Aether Grid? Seal Overseer resolves. Arcbound Ravager. I think we kill the Overseer in response to the Ravager on the stack. Is it Static Casters? Great. Play our Ghost Quarter out. We're really not taking much damage. We could just pass. We could play Geist and pass. Arcbound can sacrifice a bunch of things. Then we could path it next turn. Hopefully draw a land. How much damage are we likely to take next turn? The worst thing for us, I think, is Cranial Plating. It's also possible we're just supposed to hold up any combination of Path, Lightning, Helix, and is it Static Caster? I think we want a turn where we can Path and is it Static Caster at the same time. So we're just going to go ahead and get Geist out there for now. Now we have our own clock. We'll go ahead and pass. Master of Ethereum was a great card for them to have. Just attacking with a 1/3. I'm definitely just going to take one, especially since I can't block. Meddling Mage isn't a card we're particularly happy to see at the given moment. We can attack, he'd triple block, then path the Master of Ethereum. I'd rather be in the blocking situation though here. I'd rather path this on blocks. I'm going to let him think he has me completely stonewalled, partially because he does. Who would you like to attack with? Let me make sure I'm not making a huge mistake here. My initial reaction is to block here, path this. However, he could sack, put this on there to kill Geist. Does that matter? I think this turn may just be path. Wishing we had drawn a 4th mana so we could play another spell. The Ghost Quarter is punishing us as well. Sacked it to the Arcbound Ravager, which makes sense. I still don't think we're blocking. Pithing Needle would be a great draw here. Lightning Bolt, I've seen better. We can put the ball in his court by attempting to bolt this right now. It would be way easier if we had another land, though. Kind of tempted just to play out Meddling Mage, naming either Etched Champion or Cranial Plating. Currently, if we attack and he blocks, he puts himself in the position to have to sacrifice this. Or have to make the first move, I believe. He could just go straight for the trade, though, because he gets value off of that dying. This would be way easier if we didn't have this Ghost Quarter. Unfortunately, we do have this Ghost Quarter, so we're just passing, I believe. Gear per Aether Grid. Etched Champion. Etched Champion resolves, unfortunately. We're going to have to find a white this turn. Our opponent's not even bothering to attack. I think we need to use our mana here. Whether that is to get Izzet Static Caster out or to attempt to Lightning Helix this Arcbound Ravager. We know we want double white next turn. We could white, Ghost Quarter our own. There's a chance we have to Ghost Quarter our own Hallowed Fountain here next turn, so we're just going to go ahead and run this Izzet Static Caster out. And we'll go ahead and do this just to make him sack it to the Etched Champion right away. Or the Arcbound Ravager. He just let it die. Alright. Player Colonnade. Now, I'm not entirely sure. We could take 1, 2. Very easily take a lot of damage if we don't play this Ruined Halo this turn. However, playing it is pretty dangerous considering, or not dangerous, but we'd have to Ghost Quarter our own land. Isn't really something I'm up for. I think we can just go ahead and be prepared to block with Geist this turn. Could start by attempting to Bolt Ravager and just seeing how he reacts to that. I don't hate that. So he sacked that in response. We'll ping this in response. That way this gets one less counter. If he wants to sack some other stuff. Okay. Now I feel pretty good about Ghost Quartering our own land, because really his only threats are, not that you ever feel good about Ghost Quartering your own land, but you feel better about it whenever he only has one real threat. So we're going to Ghost Quarter our Celestial Colonnade, getting our planes, playing Ruined Halo. Naming Etched Champion. And then our plan for next turn is to play Meddling Mage, naming like Cranial Plating, and hold up this Static Caster. Expecting these to get animated and get in. It's a decent draw. Gonna leave up the red, so we're gonna go blue, white. Cranial plating, or we could do cranial plating, or we could do gear per Aether Grid. I think we're gonna go with gear per. I have no how to gear per Aether Grid. No idea how to spell it. We could also go for Wear Tear because it's the red version. I think we'll just go for gear per Aether Grid. And we pass because we can't attack with Geist. We kind of got ourselves in this weird situation where we're acting fully as the control deck with no luck of our own, despite tapping out on turn 3 for Geist. Is this Wear Tear? Arcbound Ravager. That resolves. Kind of expecting Ink Moth to get activated to attack when we try to kill it with his Static Caster. He'll sack a bunch of stuff to it. We'll go ahead and do this in the beginning of combat. He's going to sack Springleaf Drums and Mox Opals. He's even going to sack his Blink Moth to it from the looks of things. Oh, it's Pump. I suck at Magic. Gonna let him go to combat because he skipped right over combat. Gonna get Steam Vents here. Could have gotten Sacred Foundry, I suppose. Did get Sacred Foundry, I suppose. Still no attacks, unfortunately. We're just gonna pass. So consideration here is he has less mana open. We could try to, as it Static Caster, the Arcbound Ravager. Nah. We want to act last. I'm not doing a good job of doing that so far in these last 2 games. Since he tapped this to animate that, we just try to go to damage. We'll take 1 if he wants to give it to us, otherwise I think we get to kill that. Would you like to pump it? Nope, I'm at 2 poison. Guessing a Springleaf Drum's just going to get sacked here. fine. Spell Snare. I don't know, guys. We backed ourselves into a corner where we can't really attack. It's possible we should just be attacking with Geist. We really just need to find a flying threat, whether it be a Vendilion Click or a Spell Queller. Spell Queller seems like the better option. 2 mana. Indeed. Could have saved that for a cranial plating. Find ourselves in the same situation again. This time it's a little bit better for him because he didn't do it with that. He left up both of his things, so he's in a little bit better position. Our opponent currently has 3 ways to buff up the creature. We have 2 ways to deal damage to it. Tapping for blue. You don't have any cards in hand, man. Gonna let these resolve. This does kill this one since he animated it. And now with this... Oh, he sacked that one. Okay. I'm very confused about what's happening. Which likely will mean I'm dead. Sacrificing that one also. Okay, so with that ability on the stack, I'm gonna helix this. I feel like I wouldn't be nearly as confused if this were real life Magic, but because it's MTGO, I find myself very confused. Alright, we got game 2. I think our opponent probably conceded a little bit hastily there because we didn't really have any pressure for them. However, we did what we could. Post board on the draw. I don't think there's much of anything we want to change. We didn't see anything too spicy out of them. They probably are boarding in some type of enchantment removal if they didn't already. I think Wear Tear is the most common for Affinity. So because of that, we could board in a negate, I suppose. But not sure what we would cut for it. I don't think we're bringing in negate. I'm just going to submit the deck like this again. And we're on to game 3 of round 2. They're going to play first, I would imagine. I don't think this deck will have any Jaces or Bloodbraid Elves in it, very clearly. This seems like a mulligan considering we only have 1 land. It's not even that great of a hand if we had another land over a mana leak. But it would be a keep then, though. It wouldn't be a perfect hand, but it would be a keep. My perfect hand against Affinity includes either a Meddling Mage or a Ruined Halo, and it really includes the Ruined Halo because I'll keep this. I'm not ecstatic about the keep. It includes the Rune Tailor over the Meddling Mage because they can play Etch Champion on turn 1 if they really need to. We're going to top that. Pass. Well. I likely name Arcbound Ravager with this. Might be naming Welding Jar though. Mulligan the whole way down to 4. I didn't even notice that. Trying to think what can actually get them out of this kind of a draw. Not coming up with much of anything. They don't even have 2 mana. If they draw their second mana, like, there's nothing they can play this next turn that I'm afraid of. Because either they draw their second mana source, or they draw a 2 mana threat. No point in them attacking. We're going to play a Gonjo Castle and pass. Should have played the Flooded Strand. Got ahead of myself. Didn't really look at my draw step before playing my land. Here we're going to get Sacred Foundry. We'll shock it in because we're not really under any pressure. And we're going to play our Geist. I get 3 cards in hand. They could very easily have drawn something, but they didn't draw a second mana source from the looks of things. We, however, are on track to draw everything we need. Just going to attack with Geist. Kind of a shame that the last game seems to be shaping up this way. I'm not going to complain about a win. We could Pithing Needle something now. Again, not sure what I'm afraid of. Cranial Plating or Arcbound Ravager. Not afraid of Cranial Plating. I think the biggest thing I'm afraid of right now is Etch Champion. We're just going to name Arcbound Ravager with this Pithing Needle. We could name Welding Jar. Not too worried about the Welding Jar. Not worried about this Blink Moth Nexus either. I'm at 17 life. It's in as far as I'm concerned. Gonna go get blue-white or blue-red. They could have Blood Moon. I guess we can't. The only thing we can get for that is Plains. But we have the Mana Leak up for Blood Moon, so I think we're just gonna get Hallowed Fountain. Hallowed Fountain seems fine. Play Ghost Quarter. Go to combat and attack with Geist. I'm happy trading 6 for 1. Speaking about damage there. Don't quite have enough turn to finish them out. If we did, we'd just fire it off so that they can get another draw step. Etch Champion. We are going to Mana Leak that. So, our opponent's tapped out. If we path one of these, we attack, they block the 4, and then we have 6 points of burn. So let's just go ahead and do that. Just deny them the extra draw step that they get if we don't path this. And we're going to burn them out. That's fine. It's not a matter of that dying, it's a matter of getting in for 2 damage. Alright guys, that was match number 2 in this Modern League with Jeskai Queller Geist. Sure, there were some misplays, particularly against Affinity. It's a very complicated deck to understand, and the interactions between a control player and the Affinity player are also very complicated. So, I'd like to hear your feedback on the plays, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I hope you found it entertaining. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with another round before too awfully long.